to be any speedway with the amount of rain we've had this morning, but they're going to give it a try. Johnson still leads on Rick Carson. Kans whizzing underneath Peter Norlin to get second place. So Johnson leads the all-Swedish battle now of heat number 1, and it's Johnson who goes on to take the win. So heat number 2, Tommy Knudsen rides in red, Henkel Gustafsson blue, Gerd Hamburg in white, and Vasa Ilmanen from Finland is in yellow-black. Heat number 2. Up go the tapes, the bikes roar into that first turn, and Tommy Kay and Gerd Hamburg get out of the trap, and now Henrik Gustafsson comes into the fray, and down goes the Finn, Vasa Ilmanen, and looks in a little bit of discomfort, to say the least. Let's take another look in slow motion exactly what happened there. Down they go, Gustafsson just coming up the underside of Vasa Ilmanen and takes him out. The referee's decision is a restart with all 4 riders. So, a bit of luck there for Henrik Gustafsson. Perhaps just coming up the inside of Ilmanen from Finland. So it's Tommy Kay in red in gate number 1, Tommy Knudsen that is from Denmark, Henrik Gustafsson Sweden in blue gate 2, Gerd Hamburg white from Denmark in gate 3, and Vasa Ilmanen from Finland yellow-black gate 4. Restart of heat number 2. 500cc clutch starts, 4 laps on this very wet Elgane stadium as the tapes now go up again. Let's see what happens on this turn. Tommy Knudsen's get there yet again, and Hamburg's with him, and just look at Gustafsson drive right round the inside of all of them, waiting for the pack to drift wide, and the old Swede done the business there. 1 lap gone and Henrik Gustafsson leads. Second place is Tommy Kay. Third place is Gerd Hamburg. In that order, but it's Henrik Gustafsson who has been seeded by the SFIMO, the governing body of Swedish Motor Federation, to this Nordic final after breaking his scaphoid in his wrist some 3 to 4 weeks ago in a track accident in England. So it looks as though he's had no ill effects as he comes back from that crash at the first staging of heat number 2. And he's in a commanding position and looking set for 3 points to open his quest, as only 9 places are available for this round to go forward to the semi-final. Coming up to take the win, Henrik Gustafsson gets here. Tommy Kay second, and in third place, Gerd Hamburg. That's the result of heat number 2. So the Swedish contingent very happy, I'm sure, with that race. Henrik Gustafsson doing very, very nicely indeed, especially in that first and second turn. So heat number 3, which is John Jorgensen riding red for Denmark, Brian Carger blue, also Denmark, Jonas Moxon from Finland white, and Klaus Jakobsen from Denmark is in yellow and black. Well, 2 semi-finals in the World Championship this year. Bradford in England stages 1, and the following week Wiener Neustadt in Austria stages the 6th. All looking for a place in the World Final 2, which goes to Poland in 1992. So the green light goes on, the engines roar, the tapes rise, and it is Carger, Brian Carger's got the drop. Jorgensen in second place, Jonas Moxon in third for Finland, and Klaus Jakobsen left for dead at the moment. But it is Carger who leads, who's having, well, a new lease of life in England this season with Arena Essex in the Sunbright League Division 1. Second place, John Jorgensen, who had, well, a very disappointing season by his standards in 1991. I'm sure he's going to try and put that right. Is Klaus Jakobsen comes underneath Jonas Moxon for third place. But Carger really is catching the eye here in the Elgane. Very wet, very slippery conditions. Gating is going to be all so important. 1 more lap to go in heat number 3. Brian Carger in blue leads from John Jorgensen red. Klaus Jakobsen in yellow and black. Around the final 2 bends, and it's going to be 3 points for Carger. He gets there. 2 points for the rider in red, John Jorgensen, and Klaus Jakobsen gets 1 point for finishing third. So Brian Carger joins Per Jonsson and Henrik Gustafsson as the winner of his first heat, and a good win too for the Danish rider. There he is, Brian Carger, his third Nordic final, having failed on his last 2 attempts to qualify further in the World Championship. So heat 4, and there we see the 3 times world champion Hans Nielsen, just back from a broken collarbone. He rides in red. Jimmy Nielsen blue from Sweden. Peter Rahn white from Denmark. Einar Killingstad yellow and black from Norway. This is heat number 4. Up go the tapes, and the first one to show is Jimmy Nielsen and Hans Nielsen. Jimmy Nielsen just with his nose in front of Hans Nielsen. So, Jimmy Nielsen from Sweden leads. Hans Nielsen is second place. And who lost, the rider in yellow and black, is Ina Killingstad, who's down. Killingstad on the track looking, well, had a spell in England a few seasons back with Reading and Kings Lynn, but never really made it. He's been excluded from the restart of heat number 4, so 3 riders only. Jimmy Nielsen is in blue, Hans Nielsen red, and Peter Ron is in white. So the referee, having none of the nonsense, Ina Killingstad is out. Let's see if Jimmy Nielsen can get to the front again in the restart, heat number 4. Oh, going into that first turn, and Jimmy Nielsen's got the job again, but Peter Ron trying to come around the outside of him, and Hans Nielsen comes up the inside. So now Peter Ron leads, Hans Nielsen second, Jimmy Nielsen third. Peter Ron having a little bit of difficulty with conditions. Hans Nielsen, as we told you, coming back from a broken collarbone. Oh, Peter Ron's down. Oh, it takes a nasty tumble. Peter Ron's down in some discomfort on that one. You just see the innocent looking fall, and he slides away from his machine. We keep our fingers crossed that Peter will be okay. He looks in some discomfort on the fence here at the Elgane Stadium, and it's one of those days where it stopped raining, but the morning's rain here in Norway has made track conditions very, very slippery indeed. He's taken an ambulance ride back to the St John's Room, or the Norwegian equivalent. That's something we don't like to see in any motorsport all around the world, but Peter's one of those battlers. They breed them tough in Denmark, and they don't come any tougher than Peter Ron. So he's another one that's going to be excluded by today's referee. But no doubt Peter will be more hopeful that he can continue in this Nordic final. So 2 riders only for the third staging. Just Jimmy Nielsen blue and Hans Nielsen in white, in red, shall I say, as they go away from the starts. Let's see if it's third time lucky. Jimmy Nielsen's got the drop. So Jimmy Nielsen leads, Hans Nielsen second, and Jimmy was a little bit unlucky last about because he was in third place when the race was stopped, but he was in first place on the first staging, so perhaps that's done it. And Jimmy Nielsen goes on to get 3 good points in the restaging of heat number 4. So heat number 5 of this Nordic Speedway Championship sees Ina Killingstad in red, Peter Nolin blue, Tommy Knudsen in white, and Jon Moxeman in yellow and black as they whiz from the start. And Tommy K gets a dream from gate 3. Tommy Knudsen leads, Peter Nolin in second place. So Tommy Knudsen, who you may recall had a run-off for that bronze medal in the Ullevi Stadium in Gothenburg last season in the World Final itself, just losing out to Hans Nielsen on that occasion. Peter Nolin in second place, Ina Killingstad in third. So Knudsen looking good for some more points. Got a 2 first time out, so 3 here were doing very, very nicely indeed. Nolin scored 1 in heat number 1, so he's looking to get amongst it, and he just doesn't want to make any mistakes so early on in a Nordic final. The last time that the Scrensport cameras were in the Elgane Stadium was for the Nordic final 4 years ago, when Hans Nielsen won on that occasion with a 15-point maximum. He's already dropped 1 point, so he's not going to do that on this occasion. But in heat number 5, it's a win for Tommy Knudsen. He gets the 3 points. Peter Nolin from Sweden gets 2. And Ina Killingstad from Norway gets 1. That's the result of heat number 5. So heat number 6 is next one up, which sees Jimmy Nielsen, John Jorgensen, Lars Gunnestad, who the forlorn excluded first time out, and Gert Hamburg. So Jimmy Nielsen red gate 1, John Jorgensen blue gate 2, Lars Gunnestad white gate 3, and Gert Hamburg on the outside in yellow and black. And they race from the start of the first. The show is John Jorgensen. Jorgensen and Jimmy Nielsen, and Nielsen cuts up the inside. Jimmy Nielsen from Sweden leads from John Jorgensen second, Lars Gunnestad third, and Gert Hamburg fourth. 1 lap gone. So gauging is going to be also important, but there is that element of surprise that you can catch your opponent out on when he makes a mistake or drifts a bit wide or loses control. And we've seen that happen once or twice already in the first 6 races here in the Elgane. But Jimmy Nielsen, oh, just look at Gert Hamburg lift and lose control completely of his machine. Gert Hamburg from Denmark. Let's take another look in slow-mo at that one. Up goes the front wheel. No control from that moment onward. Just let go of the machine and bail out is what Gerd Hamburg does. And it's obviously excluded from the restart of heat number 6. So 3 riders only: Jimmy Nielsen red, John Jorgensen blue, and Lars Gunnestad yellow-black. Restart of heat 6. So the first one is John Jorgensen in pole position. Coming round in white, Lars Gunnestad now takes second place, and Jimmy Nielsen really has just a little bit of bad luck here in the Elgane so far. So many restarts for him. But John Jorgensen, who's having a new lease of life in 1992, leads. Jimmy Nielsen trying to come out the inside, and these two riders clashed in Tampere, Finland in 1989 in the Nordic final, a race which I personally recall, which cost Jimmy Nielsen dearly on that occasion. But it looks as though Gunnestad's going to just get the drop on the Swede on this occasion. John Jorgensen rides for Coventry in the Sunbright League. Still leads from John Jorgensen, from Lars Gunnestad in second place, who's about to join the Pool Pirates. Jimmy Nielsen, who's now with Swindon, and coming around to get a very, very good win indeed is John Jorgensen, who gets there. Lars Gunnestad in second place, and Jimmy Nielsen, the leader on the first stage, who has to be content with 1 point only in the restart of heat number 6. So 3 points to Denmark's John Jorgensen, looking very good and very useful as John too this afternoon. 2 points to Lars Gunnestad and 1 to Jimmy Nielsen. Heat 7, Brian Carger rides in red. Hans Nielsen is in blue, both of Denmark. Henrik Gustafsson is in white, and Per Jonsson yellow and black. Heat number 7. And the first one to show is Brian Carger. Carger it is who leads. Hans Nielsen second. Henrik Gustafsson comes round Hans Nielsen. Per Jonsson is in 4th place at the moment, but it's Brian Carger who's sped as the tapes rose. So Carger leads. Henrik Gustafsson second. Hans Nielsen third, and Per Jonsson. Down goes Gustafsson. Exactly the same position is Gerd Hamburg fouled in the previous race. And conditions and weather, let's take another look in the old slow-mo. And it's just the same thing that happened to Gerd Hamburg in the previous race. And for Henrik Gustafsson's sake, it was just glad that the two riders behind him, Hans Nielsen and Per Jonsson, were well behind and didn't hurt him on that occasion. So there we see Henrik's father coming back and having a few words about what happened there. The track conditions causing a lot of problems for all the riders, but it's the same for all 16. So Gustafsson excluded. It's Carger red, Nielsen blue, Jonsson yellow-black. Up go the tapes, the engines roar, and yet again it's Carger who makes a dream start. Jonsson comes up the inside of Hans Nielsen but doesn't do it. Brian Carger is looking like a man possessed. As I've already told you, this is his 3rd appearance in a Scandinavian final. He fell out of the championship in Tampere on his first occasion in '89, and then lost in a dramatic runoff for a final place in Linköping in 1990 to Dennis Lundqvist of Sweden. A last done manoeuvre by Lundqvist gained in that place. So is Brian Carger now going to stake his name in the semi-finals of the World Championship? He's looking very, very powerful here in the Elgane. Carger leads, Hans Nielsen second, Per Jonsson third with 1 more lap to go. And the racing, although wet and although a gator's paradise to some extent, there is room for mistakes, and the riders that are making them are providing us with some action. Carger gets the win though and 3 points. Hans Nielsen has to be content with 2 points, and the former world champion from Sweden, Per Jonsson, has 1 point for finishing in 3rd place. Congratulations to Brian Carger for winning heat number 7. So heat number 8, Tony Rickardson rides in red. Lasse Elgane, gladly okay from his accident, he's in blue, gate number 2. Klaus Jakobsen, white, Denmark, gate 3, and Jørgen Johansen comes in to replace the injured Peter Rahn in yellow and black. This is heat number 8. Green light goes on. Up go the tapes, and into that turn they roar. Rickardson and Klaus Jakobsen, but Rickardson has just got the drop. Klaus Jakobsen was there, but just didn't have the power Rickardson has. Tony Rickardson, who had such a fabulous year in 1991, topped, of course, by that appearance in the Ullevi Stadium, where he gained that 2nd place to Jero Peterson, who, of course, is out of the World Championship at Red Speedway for at least a year with that back injury sustained about 3 weeks ago. And if you are listening, Yeah, no, everybody at Scrensport, we wish you a speedy recovery, and we do hope to see you on a speedway bike again in the near future. But it is Tony Rickardson who leads heat number 8 with one more lap to go. Second place is Klaus Jakobsen. Valsa Elgane from Norway, from Finland, should I say, is third. But round the final two bends, there's no mistaking who's going to get 3 points. Coming up to take the win, it's Tony Rickardson who gets there. Klaus Jakobsen from Denmark gets the 2 points for finishing second, and Vasa Elgane from Finland gets 1 point for finishing third. So all the riders now in the Nordic final of 1992 have had 2 outings, 2 rides each. Karger on 6 points and unbeaten is leading. Knudsen, Tommy Knudsen, Tony Rickardson, John Jorgensen on 5, and then Jonsson, Nielsen, and Nielsen on 4. Nalin Gustafsson Jakobsen on 3. Join us for more Speedway after 9 of the Nordic Speedway final. Gert Hamburg in red, Arndt Forland coming in blue. We do hear from the track doctor that Peter Ron is having problems with his wrist, so let's keep our fingers crossed it's not too badly damaged. So Gert Hamburg rides in red, Arndt Forland from Norway comes in for a reserve outing in blue. Peter Nolin rides in white from Sweden, and Brian Karger, the only unbeaten rider, rides in yellow and black. This is heat number 9. Just to recap, only 9 places available for these 16 competitors go forward to the 2 semi-finals of the World Championship in 1992. So heat number 9 then gets underway. Let's see who's the first one to show, and it is the rider in blue, Arndt Forland. Peter Nolin goes down the outside of him. Nolin has got the drop. Coming through to second place is Gert Hamburg. Brian Karger driving around Hamburg as well. So Nolin leads. Brian Karger in second place now. Third place is Gert Hamburg. But Peter Nolin, the cowboy from Eskilstuna in Sweden, is coming back amongst the fray. So far got 3 points. This would give him 6 at the interval stage. Brian Karger looks set now to drop his first point of the Scandinavian finals. Hamburg comes up alongside the join in. Gert Hamburg now takes second place from Brian Karger. A good ride from the tiny Dane who rides for Craigleith in England, but Karger's back on him. Oh, this is one hell of a scrap for minor places. Karger's back to second place. Peter Nolin in first place, unaware of what's going on behind. Oh, Brian Karger locks up, and Gert Hamburg comes through to take second place. So that was really one hell of a speedway race. Peter Nolin gets the 3 points, Gert Hamburg gets 2, and Brian Karger gets 1. Great race in heat number 9. Heat number 10, Klaus Jakobsen rides in red, Tommy Knudsen in blue, Hans Nielsen white, and Lars Gunnestad in yellow and black. Heat number 10 of the Nordic final 1992, when points mean prizes, and the prize is a semi-final place in the World Championship for the top 9. And it's Tommy Knudsen who leads. Coming around the outside, Lars Gunnestad, Hans Nielsen having problems and is back in third place. So Hans Nielsen so far with only 4 points to his name, and now in third place in heat number 10. And it is Tommy Knudsen, his fellow countryman, who leads. Lars Gunnestad in second place, and Tommy Kay doing very, very nicely. Already on 5, and we'll go into the interval stage on 8 points if he can just hold on. Lars Gunnestad needs a point. Hans Nielsen is, well, not looking his old self, it's fair to say, and we have to stick up for him by saying that he's just come back from a broken collarbone, but so is Henrik Gustafsson. He's come back from an injury as well, so it's all about being on song at the right time in World Championships. There's no doubt whatsoever about that. But Tommy Kay coming round in his charisma style to take the win in heat number 10, just from Lars Gunnestad in second place and Hans Nielsen in third. So 3 points for Tommy Knudsen, 2 points for Lars Gunnestad. Hans Nielsen has to be content with 1 point. So Tommy Kay goes in at the interval stage on 8 points here in the Elgane in Norway for the Scandinavian final. We move on to heat number 11, which sees Vasa Elgane in red, Bjorn Moxeman in blue, Per Jonsson white, and Jimmy Nielsen in yellow and black. The engines roar. Starting marshal just waves Jonsson in a bit closer. Green lights on, the tapes rise, those engines roar to that turn, and it's Jonsson who's got the drop. Jonsson and Jimmy Nielsen coming around the outside to join him. Jonsson's there, Nielsen second. Well, you wouldn't put much money on these two being in first and second position. Third place is Vasa Elgane from Finland, but it's Per Jonsson who leads. Jimmy Nielsen in second. And Per Jonsson looks in control of heat number 11. Heat number 12, and there we see Einar Killingstad coming out in gate number 1 in red. Tony Rickardson is in blue. Jørgen Johansson coming in to replace John Jorgensen, excluded for touching the tapes. And Henrik Gustafsson in yellow and black as the bikes roar. And it's Einar Killingstad who's got the drop. Killingstad is there in red, leads. Second place in blue, Tony Rickardson. Henrik Gustafsson is not having life on his own way as he's back in third place at the moment. So Einar Killingstad, of course, on his home track here in the Elgane Stadium in Norway. And I'm sure we'd dearly like to give the 2,000 crowd here something to cheer about on one of those Norwegian days we would best like to forget weather-wise. Einar Killingstad leads. Tony Rickardson in second place. Henrik Gustafsson third. And Jørgen Johansson back in fourth place. But Einar Killingstad has just got a bit between his teeth, and this will be a great scalp over Tony Rickardson. As Rickardson gets closer now. Down the back straight for the final time, but Einar Killingstad knows every inch of the way around this Elgane circuit. But can he hold on as it comes up to that? It's Killingstad who gets there. Rickardson is in second place, and Gustafsson has to be content with third position. So 3 points to Killingstad, 2 to Rickardson, and 1 to Gustafsson. Now all the riders have had 3 outings. Tommy Knudsen leads the pack, just dropped 1 point on 8 points. 3 riders on 7, Brian Carger, Tony Rickardson, Per Jonsson. Jimmy Nielsen and Peter Nolin from Sweden on 6. John Jorgensen and Hans Nielsen on 5. Gunnestad, Gustafsson and Killingstad all on 5 points. So very, very close indeed. Let's have a few words then with the former world champion Hans Nielsen on his thoughts on the track conditions here in the Elgane.
The track looks pretty difficult from up here anyway.
It is difficult, particularly at first. There's a few grooves, and you know, it starts, it's sort of a little tricky, very, very wet, and it's, you know, you're not quite sure whether it's going to grip or whether it's going to spin, and it's caught me a little so far, and but you know, hopefully we'll pick up a few more points.
Well, I mean, you seem to be able to handle it, but a lot of the young riders seems to be using too much throttle.
Well, a few have been gambling a bit out there, you know. Obviously I've been sort of trying to ride after conditions. As you've seen, there's a few grooves, and all of a sudden it picks up, and riders come off, and you know, we've got to obviously try and ride a little bit after the conditions, but on the other hand, it's an important meeting. Everybody want to qualify, and everybody rides hard.
So Hans Nielsen on 5 points at the end of the stage, but let's have a few words with the Swedish team manager, Bo Verbrand. He must be very happy with his riders so far.
If Henke win this race, I think we should have all 5 Swedish riders through from the meeting.
That is what you want. You think? I mean, is that what you expect them to do?
Yeah, of course, and I want to see all 5 Swedish riders at the semi-final, and if we are through to the semi-final, I think we can have them in the final too.
So we move on to heat number 13, and let's see if Bo Verbrand's prediction is right. Henrik Gustafsson rides in red, Klaus Jakobsen in blue, Jimmy Nielsen white, and Peter Nolin is in yellow and black. This is heat number 13, the interval stage now over in the Elgane. The cups of tea have been put away. Let's see what happens then in the second half of this Scandinavian Speedway final, where all the riders are closely back together for those 9 qualification places. Up go the tapes, and the bikes are into that first turn, and it's Jimmy Nielsen and Henrik Gustafsson. Gustafsson on the inside of Jimmy Nielsen. So Gustafsson's there, Jimmy Nielsen second, Peter Nolin in third place, Klaus Jakobsen back in fourth. So the battle of the Swedes has materialised. It's just what Bo Verbrand had predicted. Gustafsson, who was struggling just a little bit with 4 points only at the interval stage. Peter Nolin on 6, and Jimmy Nielsen on 6 as well. So Gustafsson, it was essential that he tried to get the 3 points out of this one. And well, perhaps the Swedes are just working together as a team, which is what it's all about. 1 more lap to go in heat 13. It's all about getting a maximum amount of riders through to that semi-final. And down goes the rider in blue, Klaus Jakobsen. We remember seeing that, of course, in Finland, Tampere, back in 1989 when the Danes done it. So no disrespect to the Swedes on this occasion. It's Gustafsson gets the 3 points. 2 to Jimmy Nielsen in second place, and Peter Nolin gets 1 for finishing in third place. So Henrik Gustafsson, he wins heat number 13 and is back in the fray in the Scandinavian Speedway final of 1992. Heat 14, Lars Gunnestad rides in red, Einar Killingstad rides in blue, Vasa Elgane rides in white, and Brian Carger the surprise merchant so far in yellow-black in heat number 14. So there we see Karger on 7, Gunnestad and Killingstad on 4, and Elgane from Finland on 2, and Karger really, a couple of points would wrap up things for him here in heat number 14. Up on the tapes, and the way those might go, the first to show is the rider in blue on the Killingstad. Killingstad leads, Karger coming around the outside of Gunnestad. So Karger is in second place, Gunnestad third, and Vasa Elgane on, down he slides gracefully to the track. But the three other riders carry on with the proceedings in heat 14. Einar Killingstad leads, Karger second, Lars Gunnestad third. And these points would put Brian Karger through to the semis. Brian Karger already on 7 points, 9 would be enough, I would think, to put him through in second place, but he would dearly like a few more and get on the roster, I'm sure of that. One more lap to go. Killingstad leads, Einar Killingstad from Norway, and the crowd are getting a little bit pleased with his progression. Einar Killingstad on 4 points, this would give him 7. Comes round to take the win, it's Einar Killingstad that gets there. Second place for Brian Karger, and Lars Gunnestad back in third place. So Killingstad moves on to 7 points, Brian Karger on 9, and Lars Gunnestad is in third place, he gets the solitary point. We move on to heat 15. Arnt Forlund from Norway comes in for reserve ride to replace the injured Peter Vaughan. Per Jonsson in blue, Sweden. John Jorgensen, Denmark, in white. Tommy Knudsen, Denmark, yellow-black. This is heat 15. And the engines roll into that first turn, and Nilsen's got there, the smooth style of Per Jonsson. Tommy Knudsen nearly locks up and loses ground, back in third place. So Per Jonsson leads, John Jorgensen second, Tommy Knudsen third, and Jonsson looks in good style. So heat number 16, Johan Knudsen from Finland rides in red, Gert Hanberg is in blue, Tony Rickardsson rides in white, and Hans Nielsen is in yellow-black. Hans Nielsen on 5 points, and as Dewey say, just slightly struggling here in the Elgane in the Scandinavian Speedway final. So, points mean prizes, only 9 of these riders going forward to the semi-finals. This is heat number 16, and away they go from the start. Let's see who it is who gets there. Rider in blue, Gert Hanberg leads, Hans Nielsen coming around the outside of him in yellow and black, and Tony Rickardsson coming underneath. Hans Nielsen drives underneath Hans Nielsen, and Nielsen now back in third place. And this is something very, very interesting. Are we in for somewhat of a surprise here in the Elgane? Hanberg leads from Denmark, Rickardsson, Sweden second, Hans Nielsen, Denmark third, Moxeman, Finland fourth. And it's fair to say that Tony Rickardsson currently on 7 points. These two would, well, put him one way there, I should think. He's got one hand on a semi-final place. Gert Hanberg is having a very, very good deed indeed. He's on 6 at the moment. But it's all about the man who's back in third place, that's Hans Nielsen. But as they come up to take the win, it's going to be the right Gert Hanberg who gets 6 points. Tremendous. He's looking pretty good at the moment. So he gets 3 points for winning heat number 16. Second place is Tony Rickardsson, he gets 2, and Hans Nielsen 1 for in third place. So the scoreboard then, Per Jonsson on 10 points from Sweden in pole position. 3 riders on 9, Karger, Rickardsson, Knudsen. Jimmy Nielsen on 8 should I say, and 4 on 7, Nalin, Jorgensen, Gustafsson and Killingstad, very close. Join us for more Speedway from this fella Hans Nielsen on his further progression in the World Championships. We didn't think we'd be saying this about the former 3 times world champion, but he needs to win heat number 17 to progress further to the semi-finals or have any chance of doing that. The pressure is on for probably the first time in his career. The lineup for heat 17 is Peter Nalin red, Vasa Elgane from Finland blue, Hans Nielsen white, and John Jorgensen in yellow and black. Nalin and Jorgensen both on 7, Hans Nielsen on 6, and it's very, very close on the points for the minor places here in the Elgane as we go into heat number 17, and the engines roar, and Nalin has got the drop. Peter Nalin leads, John Jorgensen, yellow and black, coming around the outside of him. John Jorgensen flies past Peter Nalin, so John Jorgensen leads. Nalin is second, Vasa Elgane is in third, and Hans Nielsen is in fourth place. And this now surely means, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that Hans Nielsen is out of the World Championship in 1992. And this really has been one of the biggest upsets in the Speedway calendar for a long, long time. Jorgensen still leads, Norleen second, Elgane third, and Hans Nielsen trailing off in fourth position. One more lap to go in what has surely been the sensation of the World Championship. On a very damp, and a very wet, and a very windy Elgane Stadium, Hans Nielsen's World Championship dreams for 1992 come to an end. It's Jorgensen wins heat 17. Second place, Peter Norleen. Third place, Vassan Elgane. And there, Hans Nielsen is out of the World Championship of 1992, having come home in fourth position. So, the biggest major upset of the championship so far is John Jorgensen and Peter Norleen shake hands for finishing first and second, respectively. But a lot of talking, no doubt, to go on the failure of Hans Nielsen here in Norway on Sunday, June the 14th. So heat number 18, Johan Moxeman rides in red, Lars Gunnestad blue, Henke Gustafsson white, and Jørgen Johansson coming in for reserve outing to replace the injured Peter Wrong in yellow and black. Gustafsson needs points, and so does Gunnestad. It's going to be very important, this one. Up go the tapes into that turn, and it's Gunnestad who's got the drop. Gunnestad leads. Lars Gunnestad leads, Henrik Gustafsson in second place. So if Gustafsson can stay in second place now, he will finish the proceedings here on 9 points, the same as Peter Norleen. And it's getting very, very close for the lower order of point score here in the Elgane. Very close indeed for just the 9 places going through. Lars Gunnestad, he will finish on 8 points if he can stay out of trouble, and we have to wait and see what happens in the final 2 races to see if that's going to be enough. Lars Gunnestad leads. Still in second place is Henrik Gustafsson. Jørgen Johansson back in third place. But Lars Gunnestad going to end proceedings here for him in the Elgane with a win. This is his first win of the afternoon, and he will finish on 8 points, and Henrik Gustafsson on 9 is come up to take the flag. It's Gunnestad who wins, Gustafsson in second place, and Jørgen Johansson back in third. That's the result of heat number 18. Now, as Gunnestad just says, I'll do a wheelie to play to the gallery here in the Elgane just to brighten up proceedings on a damp day. And who can blame it? But we have to wait and see whether that's going to be good enough to take Lars Gunnestad through to the semi-finals. So heat number 19, Per Jonsson comes into gate number 1 in red. He's currently on 10 points, and I'm assured of a place in the semi-final. Klaus Jakobsen is in blue, Einar Killingstad white, and Gert Hamburg is in yellow and black. Jonsson 10, Jakobsen 3, Killingstad 7 and Hamburg 6, so Killingstad and Hamburg desperately need the points in this one. Let's see what happens as the tapes rise on the penultimate racer. I'm sure we're going to be in for some run-offs here in the Elgane. Up go the tapes, the engines roar, and the first one to show is the rider white out of Killingstad. Killingstad leads Jonsson and Hamburg. Hamburg now going around the outside of Killingstad. Jonsson goes out very wide, tries to make up ground. So it's Hamburg that leads. Killingstad in second place, Jonsson in third. Klaus Jakobsen back in fourth. Jonsson in third place. Is he trying to put pressure on either Killingstad? Gert Hamburg unaware of what's going on, and now Jonsson comes through to second place on Killingstad. So Jonsson, Per Jonsson through to second place. Gert Hamburg is in first. Can Jonsson catch him up? Hamburg leads, Jonsson second. Killingstad third, 1 more lap to go in heat number 19. Hamburg leads, Jonsson second. Oh, and Jonsson looks dead in his machine as it splutters to a halt. Has he got room to coast round for a point as we come up to take the win? It's Hamburg that wins. Killingstad in second place, and Jonsson can't even drift round for third place. So Per Jonsson ends up on 10 points, but Gert Hamburg, he gets 3 points and a good win for him. He was in that position when it was stopped, or when Jonsson stopped anyway. So a good win for Gert Hamburg, who ends up on 9 points. Another one on 9 points as we move on to heat number 20. Tommy Knudsen in red, Jimmy Nielsen blue, Brian Carger in white, Antonio Rickardsson in yellow and black. And just look, 3 riders on 9 points and 1 on 8. And yo, Scoreboard's going to need some ticket out and some sorting out after this one to see just what happens before we know what 9 will go through to that semi-final. This, ladies and gentlemen, is heat 20. And away they go from the start, and the first one to show is Brian Carger in white. Carger in white leads, Jimmy Nielsen on the inside in blue. Carger in white leads. Tony Rickardsson comes out the outside of him, superb style. Rickardsson now takes the lead from Brian Carger. Jimmy Nielsen now comes through to join in. Carger's been put under some tremendous pressure by the two Swedes in his boxed out. So Rickardsson leads, and just a little bit of crafty tactics by the Swede gets his fellow countryman Jimmy Nielsen through to join him. Brian Carger is now back in third place, and Tommy Kay in fourth. And the Swedes, well, tactics are what all about. It's all about, and it's about getting places in that semi-final. And it looks as though Tony Rickardsson had that on his mind as he drove around the outside of Brian Carger. And some unusual tactics, to say the least, and I'll say no more, as Rickardsson comes round to take the win in Heat 20. Tony Rickardsson wins. Second place for Jimmy Nielsen, and third place for Brian Carger. So Brian Carger ends up on 10 points, along with a few other riders as well. Per Jonsson's on 10, and so is Jimmy Nielsen, so is John Jorgensen. We've got a lot of riders on 10 points, but Tony Rickardsson is the only out-and-out winner. He's the Nordic champion of 1992. So, with that in mind, as the riders go on to the centre circle to have their machines examined by the FIM, we'll draw the conclusion to this one after the break. The Nordic in 1992,
right,
Tony
You
Rickardsson.
now have a very, very laid-back position. You can stand there and watch all the reruns.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's very good. Just can stand and have a look on all the heats, the rest of the heats, and just have a bit of a laugh and maybe go back to the hotel and have a good rest.
Yeah, but you would want your other guys to come along, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course. You know, I love to have Henka and all the other Peter and Arlene with me. You know, it's great if you could be a few more, especially in qualifications. You know, and like Henka and Peter, they should be through.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
So now we go into 4 qualification heats to see who ends up in positions 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th and 10th. Is 5 riders finished on 9 points here in the Elgane. Heat number 21, Henrik Gustafsson rides in red, Peter Nolin blue and Tommy Knudsen in white. So these 3 riders all ended up on 9 points, along with Einar Kinningstad and Gerd Hamburg. So very complicated, but we'll keep you informed. This is heat number 21, and only one rider will be very disappointed at the end of these 4 races. He will be eliminated and be the reserve that goes forward to the semi-finals, and Peter Nolin leads heat number 21 from Henrik Gustafsson, from Tommy Kay back in 3rd place. So Nolin leads, Gustafsson in 2nd place, Tommy Kay 3rd. 1 lap gone in heat 21. Peter Nolin looks over his shoulder, Gustafsson comes up and takes the inside on him. Peter Nolin drifts out a little bit wide, come back to... Gustafsson goes through to take the lead. Nolin is on the outside, and he really can't afford to make any mistakes, because Tommy Knudsen is now getting very, very close. 1 more lap to go in heat 21. 4 heats to eliminate 1 rider here. That's how difficult it's become in the Scandinavian final. Positions 6, 7, 8 and 9 and 10 at stake in these 4 heats. Is Peter Nolin now comes under pressure from Tommy Kay, but holds on. So it's Henrik Gustafsson who gets the win. Peter Nolin in 2nd place and Tommy Knudsen back in 3rd place. So that's the result of heat number 21. As I say, 5 riders all ending up on 9 points. Henrik Gustafsson, Peter Nolin, Tommy Knudsen, Gerd Hamburg and Einar Kinningstad. So the other 2, Gerd Hamburg is in blue and Einar Kinningstad is in yellow and black. This is heat 22. They go into the first turn, and Gerd Hamburg in blue leads from Einar Kinningstad in yellow and black. So Gerd Hamburg from Denmark leads Kinningstad from Norway. And Hamburg, who it is, in true commanding style, who looks set for 3 points in heat number 22. Hamburg leads, Kinningstad back in 2nd place. So heat number 23, and the man who finishes in 3rd position in this one will be eliminated from the Nordic final. That's how drastic it's become. Peter Nolleen rides in blue, Einar Killingstad in white, and Tommy Knudsen in yellow and black. As the tapes rise on this one, heat number 23, and it is Tommy Knudsen who leads. Peter Nolleen in blue in second place, Einar Killingstad in white. Knudsen leads from Denmark. Killingstad coming round the outside of Peter Nolleen. Nolleen back in second place, and the action really has been fast and furious as Killingstad comes through to take second place from Peter Nolleen. So, Tommy Knudsen leads. Einar Killingstad in second place, and if Nolleen finishes third, it will mean he will go into the draw as reserved for the semi-finals from the Nordic final. Killingstad in second place. This will assure him of a place in the top 9, and Norway's only representative. One more lap to go in heat 23. Tommy Knudsen leads. This will put him through. Just took up Peter Nolleen making up ground. It's the final two bands of heat 23. Einar Killingstad white. Peter Nolleen in blue coming up, but it's just Killingstad who holds on. And Peter Nolleen from Sweden holds his head down as he knows he will now go into the draw for reserve only. Tommy Knudsen is assured, so is Einar Killingstad, and Peter Nolleen is the faller and finishes in 10th place. So heat 24, Tommy Knudsen in red, Gert Hamberg in blue, Henrik Gustafsson in white, and Einar Killingstad yellow and black. And this is for the positions of 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th in the Scandinavian Speedway final. All 4 go through to the semi-final, so this is purely for positions. Up to the tapes, the engines roar, the bikes run into that first turn, and it's yellow and black Einar Killingstad who leads. And Killingstad having a new lease of life here in the Elgane Stadium. Second place is Gert Hamberg, Tommy Knudsen third, and Henrik Gustafsson, who I'm sure is not too concerned about what position he finishes in. Coming back from that broken scaphoid, that's a bone in the wrist for Killingstad breaks down what he's leading, so tough luck on the Norwegian, but he's done enough to finish in 9th position here in the Scandinavian final. So we're still going in heat 24. Gert Hamberg leads, Tommy Knudsen second, and Henrik Gustafsson third, with one more lap to go in heat 24. Gert Hamberg, if he can stay out of trouble, he will finish in 6th place. 7th will go to Tommy Knudsen, 8th to Henrik Gustafsson, and Einar Killingstad will finish in 9th, although he's got engine failure. There it is. It's Gert Hamberg who wins and finishes the Nordic final in 6th place. Tommy Knudsen finishes 2nd, he's in 7th position. Henrik Gustafsson finishes 3rd, he's in 8th. And Einar Killingstad, who had engine problems, he finishes in the 9th and final qualifying place to go forward to the semi-finals. Now we have a run-off for the silver and bronze medal position in the Nordic Championship. We already know that the winner is Tony Rickardsson from Sweden, but we have 4 riders for this sudden death for silver and bronze, and 4th and 5th position. John Jorgensen in red, Brian Carger blue, both of Denmark, Jimmy Nielsen white, Per Jonsson yellow black, both from Sweden. This could be, in the words of yours truly, a real cracker. This is heat 25. Up go the tapes. Per Jonsson it is, and Brian Carger. Jonsson in yellow and black leads. Carger in blue in 2nd place. But Per Jonsson leads from Brian Carger. 3rd place at the moment is John Jorgensen, and Jimmy Nielsen is back in 4th position, and I'm sure he's not too concerned about that. So Per Jonsson, yellow and black, from Sweden, former world speedway champion back in 1990. He leads. Brian Carger, who's had such a tremendous afternoon here in the Elgane, he will end up in 3rd position. So let's take a look then. If Per Jonsson can stay out of trouble, he will be in 2nd position in the Nordic final. Brian Carger in 2nd position here with one more lap to go. He will finish in 3rd place. John Jorgensen in 3rd position here. He will finish 4th. And Jimmy Nielsen, who failing to score, will finish in 5th position. So right up to take the flag, it's Per Jonsson that wins the run-off for minor positions and gets silver medal here in Elgane, and Brian Carger, who gets a bronze medal in the Nordic final of 1992. So it's been all action. We hope we haven't bored you too much with the eliminations of the minor places, but it was a little bit complicated, but we tried our best. But what we can tell you is the 9 qualifiers that now go forward to the semi-finals of the World Championship. We know that Tony Rickardsson is in pole position on 12 points. We know that Per Jonsson is second on 10. We know that Brian Carger is third on 10 points. We also know that in fourth position is John Jorgensen, also on 10, and Jimmy Nielsen in fifth position, also on 10 as well. So in sixth position, Gert Hamburg on 9. 7 is Tommy Knudsen, also on 9. Henrik Gustafsson on 9, and Einar Killingstad on 9. So 4 Danes, 4 Swedes, and 1 Norwegian are the qualifiers from this Nordic final here in the Elgane Stadium. And Peter Norlin from Sweden will go into the hat as the reserve from this Nordic final. So congratulations to all that's taken part, and commiserations and the big shock on Hans Nielsen, who has failed to make it through, and that really has been the big shock here in the Elgane. Peter Norlin, there we see the reserve. Lars Gunnestad also a bit of a shock on home territory on 8 points. Hans Nielsen 6, Klaus Jakobsen 4, Vasa Ilnanen on 3. Jonas Moxman failed to score, and Peter Rahn, who we do heard has gone to hospital to have an x-ray on his damaged wrist. So on behalf of everybody here at Scrensport, we do hope you've enjoyed the action, and thank you for joining us from the Elgane Stadium here in Norway.